pretty big challenge with these perimeter guys from Ohio State. Just talk about that a little bit.
Well, the great thing about the Big Ten is that challenge has been on for the past couple of weeks now, including Duke, obviously, as well. You see good receivers and you see good quarterbacks, and that's where the name of the game is at right now. And you relish in a moment and you coach the guys through it, and you go from there. But I mean, Julian saying is a good quarterback, right? You can throw the ball all over the place, and you also Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate. Those guys can run and make plays down the field, but they can also run short routes and beat you, just make you miss and get yak yards. So excited for the challenge. Those guys are good players, and we've got good players too. So we're excited to see, how our guys meet that challenge.
I wanted to ask you about Sabor, and they had mentioned that he was thinking about a red shirt. I guess what was your role in keeping him on this team, I guess, and electing not to choose that?
Well, I'm never going to speak in reference to being a I guy and me and what I did. It's all about what we did, and I think as a staff, we made him feel comfortable in a space where we was honest and told him exactly what his role was going to become if he stayed a part of this journey, right? And obviously Coach B and our entire staff had a large role in that, and there's a trust value in how we do things, because we're as real as it get, and I think for young adults these days, you need someone real that's not going to always tell you about the honey and the sugar and the candy drops, you know what I mean? You need someone that's sometimes going to tell you the truth and make sure you're aware of what the situation is and where you can go with the situation if you stick to it. And obviously it came to fruition. So I'm really excited about his future, because that's a tough situation for young men nowadays. And you see so many of them now that'll rather take the path of least resistance and go into the portal, or the path of least resistance and do maybe what a lot of other friends and people outside of your building tell them to do. He decided to listen to the people inside of the building, listen to his heart, and ultimately he's been able to get on the field and help us.
So what do you like about what you've seen from him since then, and I guess what do you want to see him improve on?
Oh, just the continued improvement is just how he goes about every single day at practice, making sure that he does everything right at practice. So on game day, it's a clearer picture and the game is slowed down for him. He's a tremendous athlete. So what he can do athletically, I mean, he caught an interception at practice the other day. He just literally just leaped over a guy and just snagged the ball over his head as if he was the receiver, right? It's very hard to do as a defensive guy. And he did it with ease. So you see him make plays like that. So he has a large skill set within him. He's just got to make sure he's always on cue, because as a DB, if you're not, it only takes one time where that can become an explosive play or a big play for your opponent.
Two games for Juice. What's the assessment 2 games in for him?
The juice is loose, right? Really excited to see him go about his business and bring a day's work from practice and bring it to the on-the-field production. The energy that he brings, the excitement that he brings to his teammates and his brothers, but ultimately, you see him doing this up in the stands. He's talking to somebody. He's talking to his big bro. He's talking to Xavier Scott when he does that. You know what I mean? And so that's heartfelt when you see him do that, because he ain't trying to make those plays just for him. It's about us. It's about we. It's about them, their relationship. You know what I mean? So excited to see him play.
Forgive my ignorance, but is the nickelback, is that part of your room, or is that the safeties?
It's a part of the safeties, and we've got a joint unit of guys that play corner. That's a corner / nickel, and we've got safeties that are safeties / nickel. So it's a shared value. Sometimes they're in my room, sometimes they're in Coach A. Hen room, but that just speaks to how him and I are equally yoked. We speak the same language and really want the best for the guys, so we'll do whatever it takes I'll meet with a guy one night, I'll meet with a guy in the morning, or I'll talk with him on the side when he's on the side, when they're not in that package, and do whatever I can, because Coach Henry has a lot on his plate calling the defensive play, so I got to do my job to make sure I'm supporting him in that venture.
Sure, Tanner has stepped in there at that position. What have you is that right? Heckle?
Tanner Heckle. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Assessment of how he's done stepping in for Xavier?
Tanner has did a really good job at it, but it's nothing new to Tanner, because if you remember last fall, Tanner was featured with the safeties. And then in the spring, he featured himself with me at corner. So he got added value to do both. And so when you have that, now you have a guy that can swing himself outside and inside per the formation that the offense gives us. which is always an added value for a nickel, because you never know where you're going to be on the field. You just got to be the adjuster, because that's essentially what you are. You're that third DB on the field, and you got to adjust to how they're aligning and the people that they have out there. I think he's managed that well, because it's a lot of thinking, right? But he's a very, very smart kid. He's very, very capable speed-wise to run with guys. So it's just the constant effect of doing it over and over and over again versus the other team's usually fastest guy, because most people put their fastest guy in the slot. And so just seeing how he dealt with balls being caught on him and just dealing with it and flushing down the toilet and playing the next play, going to the next day, that's a veteran move. So I'm excited to see his growth, because, you know, that's a veteran thing. He's not down in the tanks about a ball being caught on him. He just wants to go out there and make the next play. So excited, like I said, excited about his growth.
Talking about Juice and X and getting meaningful for you, why is that relationship and the way that they go about things kind of hit you the way that it does?
Wow, because the way Juice speaks about Xavier is like supernatural almost. Like you know, Xavier decided to take Juice under his wing, and for Juice to take that in when he was a young guy, and he still speaks to those moments just like car rides with each other, and what that means, teaching him about like college football and what it means to be a player, you know, away from the field. Juice took all of that stuff in, and now he's trying to play to, like, you know, make sure that X can see that, hey, I took everything you gave me, bro. I'm doing the best I can with it, you know. So seeing that is like, it's huge, because most kids they're not wired like that. They care about themselves. He cares about like producing so that, you know, a guy like X can see and say like, man, this dude really taking what I taught him and doing something with it. So yeah.
Obviously, Carmel Tate, Jeremiah Smith are incredibly talented, but
Yeah.
what's the challenge when that's all paired together, right? Then you throw in Ennis and Mac play. What's the challenge for a defense when it's just literally top to bottom?
Oh man, I mean, you got to be on your P's and Q's at all levels, because Coach Ryan Day, right? Their offense, he do such an amazing job of putting those guys in different places. So you've got to be cued into the places that they align. You got to be cued into the different things that they'll give you from those spots, and the fact that they all can run, right? There's not one guy that's deficient from trying to run past you any given down. So you add a Max Clare in there that we dealt with at Purdue last year, and you put him with an offense like that. They've got, you know, several different options to try and hurt you, whether it's play action pass and getting it to Claire, or just straight drop back pass and using him in an open field game and lining up like a slot sometimes. So you've got different things that they can do, right? And obviously their new offensive coordinator, Coach Hartline, does a great job of getting them guys out in space to show their ability. So really excited about the challenge and stepping up to it and seeing how our guys match up towards those type of guys.
USC and Indiana had some speed on the outside too.
Yeah.
Not to bring back a bad memory there with the Hoosiers, but how much can you take away from those two games and learn in preparation for facing these guys from Ohio State?
Never a bad memory, just part of our history. It's what makes us who we are, right? Every man has that, right? I think with just looking at those type of guys, those type of receivers, and bringing the similarities to them, at the end of the day, you've got a job to do as a DB, which keep the ball inside and in front of you with the best of your abilities every single down, going up against great quarterbacks and great receivers. So you've got to live the standard, and you got to be the standard no matter who the opponent is. So that's what you got to just keep reminding the guys. No matter the color of the helmet, you have a standard of operations that we live by, and you've got to get better at it 1% every single day. And on game day, you've got to produce at an even higher level, because you make one mistake, it can hurt the team. So just keeping the standard, no matter who we're playing against, I think is our main role. And the toughest role is just keeping the guys to understand, just stay even keel about everything. Don't get up, don't get too high on yourself, don't get too low on yourself. Stay focused at the task at hand.
What's the key for, obviously, limiting explosives is so much about what you guys do. What's the key to cleaning up some of those mental errors, tackling errors, whatever it is, to limit those, especially against Ohio State?
Yes. That comes into that when you don't have Xavier Scott with you anymore. You know what I mean? Smaller things come up. It could be something as small as communication. It could be something as much as that guy made a great play, right? Things happen on the field, and it's just learning how to deal with it and getting better as it goes along. So watching the film of it and making sure the guys understand, hey, this is something that can be fixed. This here, you've got to do a better job of making a play, because their job made a play when you didn't. So you just got to be clear about the expectations and stick to them every single day and coach them through those ups and downs.